Hey everyone, this is Matt from drawingtutorialsonline.com. Welcome to another live stream here on YouTube. Let's see here. We got a little bit of a delay, but there we go. Let me see how my sound is here. Do I have sound? Do we have sound? Yes. I think so. I think so. How's everybody doing out there today? Today should be fun. No doubt. Just bear with me here. Hey, Phoenix, welcome. And Carmela, welcome. Sound is awesome. Thank you, Elizabeth. From the Netherlands, Phoenix from the UK. We've got everybody here today. I forgot. I'm such a fool. I forgot to send out an email blast letting everybody know about the live stream. But yeah, so let's take care of like a little bit of housekeeping here before we get started with our class today. So what I'm going to probably be doing moving forward in September is the live streams. Hey, Baruch, welcome. The live streams will take place on Mondays because Tuesday I have my Zoom class for members of drawingtutorialsonline.com, and I also film video critiques. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Thank you. Hope you're well too. I'll be filming video critiques on Tuesday, and I will be doing my live Zoom class for members of DTO on Tuesday. Mondays will be the day for the live stream because on Wednesday, September 3rd, I start teaching at the School of Visual Arts again. I'm very excited to get started. Foundation Drawing is my class on Wednesday, and then I have Advanced Life Drawing on Thursday with a backgrounds class on Thursday afternoon and two backgrounds classes on Fridays. So my schedule is really jam-packed, and I want to continue to do the live streams for you. I love them. They're a lot of fun, and I hope you're getting some value from them. So in September, we'll start to do them. I can't talk today. I better change that immediately. We'll get to doing them on Mondays. Okay, in the morning. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so one last little housekeeping thing, and then we'll get started here. Do y'all remember this drawing from, I think it was the August 6th video live stream here on YouTube? Well, this drawing's for sale. If anyone's interested in purchasing it, it's really not that expensive. And there's a link where it says more right below. You can click on that link and you can check it out. All right. So, yes. Okay. Awesome sauce. Let's get started here. Now, you just need to bear with me while I tape a piece of paper onto my computer screen here. I'm using my Cintiq. I don't even know what size it is. I bought it so many years ago. Maybe it's 32 QHD. That's my drawing table. I love it. It's at a 45-degree angle. Okie dokie. Let me just switch here, and let's do me and paper. Is my paper good? I think it's good. I think we need to go here. No, we need to go. We need to go here. There you go. There you go. I got nothing to hide. I told you I was drawing on my screen, so you get to see that big hot mess right there. Now, listen to me. Listen to me, people of YouTube. I still need to move mine. No, I don't. We're good. This photo is in the posts. So if you want the photo, go to my channel, drawingtutorialsonline.com. Click on posts, and you'll see the bigger size photo there. Now, listen. Here's the full photo, kind of. And I still cropped it a little bit here. But there's not a chance today in this live stream we are drawing those hands. I love everything about this photo reference. I love the hair. I love the model. I love the tattoo. I love the hands. I love the background color. It's all really cool. But you really got to pick and choose your battles of what you could chew off in a 2-hour live stream. And those hands and that hair and the eyes and the tattoo, it's all beautiful. But yeah, there's no way I'm drawing all of that today. Now, maybe I could come back and do a part 2. Could I do this in a quick session? I could. But I'd rather not. I kind of want to just spend a little bit more time on the face and the hair. And I enjoy doing the longer duration drawings. Last week we did the gesture drawing thing, if you remember. So I'm really comfortable with doing both. Now, listen, that's enough of me talking here. I'm gonna lose y'all. I think we need to get to drawing, okay? Because you're seeing like this dull screen. How's, I just want to check this for, that doesn't look bad. It's very light. It's very light right now. So if I was to, I'd rather have it lighter than darker. Yeah, that's not too bad, actually. That's not too bad. It's still darker in real life, but that's not too bad. Okay. Now, let me just leave this here for a moment, and let's just talk about materials today, okay? Materials. Listen, I use the same materials over and over. There really should be no mystery, but if you're a newcomer and you're watching me for the first time, I love this paper. It's Strathmore toned gray. It is 80 pounds. So it has like some like thickness to it, so it'll take some abuse with the eraser. It's really, really good. And this is a good size to get if you've never used this paper and you want to check it out, 9 by 12. It's not that expensive. It's pretty good. Now, listen, I'm using, I apologize. I'm thinking about this over and over again. Like, I'm just going to use my Col-Erase pencil today. Now, I get it, for those of you watching me, they don't sell these anymore separately. You got to buy the whole set. But this is my pencil, and I still have like hundreds of them. So I'm going to continue to use them until they don't, I have no more. Okay, and I'm also going to be using today the Mono Zero eraser, which I adore. I'll use a couple of Bristol brushes for blending, and I think that's it. I think that's it. Okay. Now, with all that said, let me get my sheet of paper here. And is this the sheet of paper that I want to use? Yeah, why not? Let's use this one. Okie dokie. So now let me just kind of like tape this onto my board, and I just want to find where my edge of this computer screen is, and my other edge is over there, so maybe I can pull it back a little bit this away, and that's not too bad. Now I'm going to lower it because I want to make sure that I have room for maybe drawing the ponytail and the whatchamacallit, the braids there's not a ponytail. And and maybe the hands next week. I don't know. We'll see. Let me just tape this down and let's get started with the drawing here. Okie dokie. Now, okay, so what is this gold thing? It's just a pencil extender because I'm not, since these pencils are, they don't really make them anymore. Prismacolor Col-Erase really screwed up. So when they get really small like this, I can't draw with them this small. There's no balance to it for me, so I just kind of put them in this pencil extender, and now there's like a little bit of a balance to it. I don't like when it goes too long, but I think this is pretty cool. Okie dokie. Now, let's see here. So if I start here, the top of the model's hair, let me just see size. I want to make sure I'm going to be drawing this at a good size here. So on screen, we're about 8 inches. So maybe 4 inches for the head, and then I've got some room below for the braids and the hands if I choose to go there. And this is kind of in the center. So I think we're golden. I think I'm just going to kind of get started here. Okie dokie. So let's do it. So how do I like to start a portrait? So listen, I get it. There's 34 of you watching. This is a little boring right now, but I promise you I'll make it happen as quickly as I can here. Now, last little doodad that I want to do, just so my camera has something to focus on. Good. So now, I'm not using any methods. No methods here. I am just drawing this from by my eye, by looking at shapes and looking at angles. Okay. Now, I'm not against methods. I teach methods all semester long. And let me just see where I'm at with size. I teach methods all semester long in my classroom at the School of Visual Arts, as well as I have an entire library of courses on my website. So methods are awesome. But for this lesson right now, I'm just drawing shapes, what I see. It's almost like drawing from life. So you're in the classroom and you have the model, and the model's posing for like 5 minutes, and I'm just going to draw. So I'm going to maybe at least, so this is a little bigger than what I wanted, but I'm going to keep going. Let's see, where are we? It's the matte method. Yes. Yeah, I mean, okay, so what we're going to talk about that a little bit here in this live stream. So I love process, and I love teaching students like a process, and the difference between somebody who has success and somebody who just is kind of guessing on what's working and what is not working. The people who are guessing, they have absolutely no process. So right now, what my process is here today is that's a little long for me. That's a little big for me. Is I'm just doing like a side size method. So I'm kind of trying to draw what I see in the same size, although unfortunately I'm going like a little bit bigger. So I'm really, okay, so first thing that I'm going to teach here is just go for it. Just go for it. And start at the top of the head and use the forehead shape for your first shape. Okay, so I'm looking at this forehead shape right here above our model's eyebrow, and I brought down that strand of hair. So now I want to come over here and get that side. Okay, now listen, I got you people on YouTube. This is probably so dull, but you've just got to give me a second here to get started. And then I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see what I'm up to. Yeah, so just bear with me. So now I'm also looking at the thickness from here to here. Okay, so I want to get that. And so now what I'll do is I'll just kind of like go for it. And I think I need to suggest where the eyebrow is in relationship to the top of where the skin touches the hair. Yeah, drawn from observation. Now, it's a lot of measurements, and I can already tell that this is like a little bit too wide, but I don't want you don't want to overanalyze yet too much either, because then you'll almost like start to become like a little bit like a deer in the headlights analogy, that like you're afraid that you're going to mess things up, and it's too much thinking. Like you just need to kind of like make it happen, and that is just kind of like going for it. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to do here right now, and it's almost for me kind of like a head gesture in the beginning. So now what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to try to get the angle of the model's side of their face, which is their jaw right there. It's not too long, and then I'm going to get the angled part of the jaw, and then I'll come over to this side and just try to get that jawbone tilted. And she has a pretty cool V taper for the jawline. And so I'm just trying to get some of these angles right. And don't go too heavy with that jawline. Keep your pencil pressure very, very light. And there's a tilt to the head, right? So I'm going to tilt the chin. There's a tilt to the eyes. There's a tilt to the lips, and there's a tilt to the nose. So I'm also being conscious of that. Now, notice I didn't get into the eyes yet. I'm just kind of trying to stay a little bit big with it. Now, again, let's see. Let's stop here for a minute. Let's stop here for a minute. And how big is this head right now? So this head from the hair to the chin is 4 inches. For me, for a live stream, that's perfect. It's not too small. 3 inches maybe is a little bit too small, and 5 inches, I wouldn't finish it. So I like a 3.5 inch head. This one's slightly bigger. That's okay. So now I'm gonna just try to glance at the braids, because the braids are a big part of the personality of this model. And I want to draw the braids because I want to look at the negative space between the braid and the neck. I think that's going to be helpful for me. I always preach, hey A-Hop, I always preach to don't draw a floating head. Make sure that you get part of the shoulders in so the head doesn't look like it was lopped off, and that doesn't look good. So I think drawing like a little bit of the neck is always going to be aesthetically more pleasing to the eye. So, and it's also going to give you another opportunity to use measurements from, like, say, the bottom of the ear to the top of the shoulder. So, for instance, like if I'm drawing right over here, I'm looking at the bottom of our model's ear to the top of the shoulder. And I'm also noticing that that ear is higher because the head is tilted. So these are really, really super duper important things. Now, listen, people, listen. Okay, so I hate to keep bringing this drawing in, but I'm going to go that dark with the hair. So let's just talk about this one thing. Don't go so dark so soon if you're going to start to do a longer drawing, longer being over an hour. Okay, and an hour really is nothing compared to how some other people work. So I'm really starting light here. Now, at this point in the game, I'm going to go with like my gut, and I'm going to say that the hair is too big. And I see that, and that's okay, because I press down so light that I'll come in a little bit with it, and I'll turn that into like texture and looser strands of hair. Okay, so now this is really messy over here, and it's very confusing. And we've got this hair that comes down like this blonde streak, and it goes into the neck, and then it hides the ponytail, so it gets very confusing. And I'm just going to kind of block it in. So I'm going to put a little bit of tone over here for that ponytail. And okay, so that's maybe my first go-through. Now, could I do more with the neck? Yeah, sure, I can do all that. But I want to build a little bit of... Hey, Gene, welcome. And Nike? Hi there, some academic artist told me I am not an artist, just a copyist, since I don't draw from life but only from photos. Listen, don't listen to other people. If there's somebody who's super duper successful and they're living the life that you want to live and they're doing everything correctly, okay, fine. Maybe you take their words at heart, but just be really careful at who you listen to, because it's just a lot of this is just all opinion. Like I draw, like I had a full 18-year book illustration career, earning a living as an illustrator for 18 years. Bought my first house being an illustrator. Bought my second house being an illustrator. And what did I do? I worked just from photos. So it is what it is. I think here's Tornike. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Here's my preach to my students. You must work in the 3 disciplines. You must work from life. And working from life could be drawing your parents watching TV on the sofa, your dog sleeping, a tree outside your window. That is drawing from life. Somebody at the coffee shop, somebody on the train. And then you should draw from photos. And then you should draw out of your imagination. You see, if you do all 3, you'll be a well-rounded artist. But, they don't need to be equal. Like, it doesn't need to be, 33% from photos, 33% from your imagination, and 33% from life. You can do 75% from photos, and you could do, 20% from your imagination, and then the other 5% from life. So it's different for everybody. And told him off like he deserved. Ha. Okay, so again, today I'm working from this photo. I like the photo. I'm here trying to show you how I'm going to attempt to get a likeness. We'll see if I do or if I don't. Now, I'm 18 minutes into the live stream. I don't know. Maybe I've been drawing for 15 minutes because I talked a lot. Maybe a little less than that. And so what do you see that I'm doing here? Well, basically what you see is that I'm drawing the shape of the model's hair first. And the reason why I like to do that is because I really think of the model's hair as a container that houses the face. And I can't start drawing I can, but I'd rather not right now. I don't want to start drawing everything in the face before I've got my container that houses the features. Okay, and I'm a big believer, because I painted for half of my life as a oil painter. And so how did I do oil painting? Basically, when you're a painter, you're a little bit more shape-based, and less line based. So the minute you start putting value down on the canvas, you're working with shapes. So that's how I start to do this. You know, and I'm a big outliner too. Like I love outlining, but that's different. Like I'll outline for gesture drawings and for short duration drawings that I do when I'm working from the model. Like I love line. I love line. You know that. I've said that a gazillion times on past live streams. But today is going to be like a little bit more about tone. So, okay, cool. Now, let me just get a couple more shapes in here, people. Let's see. Let's see here. Yeah, let's go over here. And let me resharpen the pencil. Yeah, I mean, I would love to paint on a live stream. You know, there's some things I just save for members on my website because they are paying me a premium to be a member of the site. And yeah, and I've got some, like I teach on my website like semesters of a college. Like I'm having my fall semester start September 2nd. And, you know, I have a close-knit group on my website, and I love my members. And if they ask me to do some painting, I'll paint. And I do painting on the website occasionally. And, yeah, it comes back really quickly, and I love it. And the cool thing about painting is that it's fast compared to working with the pencil like this. This is slow. So now I shouldn't even be holding an eraser at this point, but this is too wide and I just want to chisel some of that off, and that just helped immensely. Okay. Now, I don't want to work too much now anywhere else on this until I think I need to start to branch out from the face, because I think this is good enough for my container. Maybe now what I can do is I can just revisit this edge, revisit this jaw, and there's tilts to the jaw. So I have my little ways here. So I like to call this the vertical part of the jaw, and then the tilted part of the jaw, and then the chin. So where these two meet, there's a tilt. So the tilt is going like that. And the nose, the lips tilt, the nose tilts. It's not level. Thank you, Carmela. I appreciate you. Carmela, I hope you watched my video critique of your portrait drawing. And I couldn't figure out what I liked, but I'm going to stand by my critique and say that you just need, I think you need the background, Carmela, on your portrait drawing because there was too many middle tones. I hope you got something from the critique. I was really torn. Okay, so now look at what I'm not doing, people. I am not going really dark with the jaw. As a matter of fact, I think that could be like a little less. Yeah, let's see. I'll leave it like that for now. Okay, good. Thank you, Carmela. I hope you got something from it. Now, I'm going to come back and I'm going to just raise the neck, the trapezius right over there, I should say. Not the neck, the trapezius. And now what I'm going to do, people, is I'm going to start to draw this line. Okay, good. The filter gallery, Carmela. So I'm talking with Carmela, everybody, on the live stream. And Carmela is a member of my website. And Carmela has been posting portrait drawings to the member critique gallery for weeks, if not months, and but really consistently for a couple of months now. And I critique Carmela's work on Mondays and draw and paint on top of it digitally in Photoshop. And Carmela's really come a long way. And the portraits, like Carmela's not using easy photo reference to draw from. Like it's really difficult photo reference. Now, I think I'm going to zoom in a little bit because this might be too far away right now, and I just want to show you like my process for. Let me zoom in a touch, and let me do this. Okay, I just want to make sure that I've got this level. Almost there. I'm trying to make it parallel with the piece of paper that it's on. Okay, I think that's not bad. I think that's not bad. I'm being anal right now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just like level and plumb is everything. Okay, that's 1/2 of an inch. Good. Okay, awesome sauce. Now that's a little bit bigger. Cool, cool, cool. So I'm just have this cheekbone, jawbone, neck. What makes a face Asian? That's a tough one for me. I would draw an Asian face like the same. It's just some different angles with the eyes. That's all. Absolutely, absolutely. So with this eyebrow, that's going to be my first interior measurement. And I want to try to get this other eyebrow, which is lower, because again, we talked about like the eyes being tilted. Now, okay, I taught everybody and their mother on YouTube teaches the Loomis method, and I love the Loomis method. I've only drawn it like once or twice. I don't use it for stuff like this. Like, I like to just do practical measurements, and I'm not against the Loomis head. I think it's the coolest thing, and I love all of Loomis's stuff. I just don't use it for this sort of stuff. So instead, like, I'll look at the chin, and I'll look at the top of the hair, and I'll guesstimate like where are the eyes. I'm making an educated measurement here, and I could use a ruler. I could, but I'm not, and I'm going to say that this needs to go a little bit higher. And before I draw those eyes, I'm drawing the side plane of the nose. I'm pressing down very lightly, and I just want to suggest the nostril area. I want to suggest the bottom of the chin. I'm sorry, the shadow underneath the lower lip is what I really meant to say there. And I want to put in some value over here on this side of the neck so it meshes with the value on the model's face. Okay, cool. So the reason why I'm starting like this is because it's non-committal. Like, I'm really not committing yet to anything like super dark. Like, this needs to be raised still again. Now, it's okay that I have like an eyebrow that's like 10 yards tall because I understand there's no white paper over there. So now I can start to place like the edge of this model's lash just for a first placement. Don't know if I love that, but I'm not going to judge it so much just yet. I want to come back in and put a little bit more shape here. So what am I doing? I am kind of working the whole drawing at once. I'm not getting stuck in one area. Like, that would be a mistake. I'm kind of like moving around, and I'm being also a little kind of impressionistic, right? So I'm drawing everything softer. I'm not committing to any super, super heavy, thick lines. Everything is a little bit lighter and middle tone in the beginning. And for me, that is being a little bit more conservative with my marks on the paper for the long drawing. Yeah, that's fine. I appreciate your thought on that. I wouldn't say that like I hate anybody's like technique and stuff. I know what it's like to be a teacher, and I know what it's like to do this for many, many, many years. So like when I look back at Loomis's stuff, I mean, yeah, that shit was pretty good. And so I'm not going to judge. I'm not going to hate, but I respect your opinion. Absolutely. Okay. So let's get back to this. And so hair coming down, covering eye. And, there's a time and a place for all these different techniques. There really is. And what is the context? For me, the context is, how am I drawing? Am I drawing from life? Am I drawing from my imagination? Do I struggle drawing out of my imagination? If I do struggle drawing out of my imagination, well, then I'm going to rely a little bit more on some of these techniques. If I'm drawing from life, I just like to, my gestures, I like to be a little bit looser. I like to draw with more line. If I'm drawing from photos, I'm just trying to compare. I like to just basically call it comparative analysis, where I'm just comparing all of these widths and heights and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm cool with where we're at. Am I going to say that I'm loving it like I'm in a McDonald's commercial? No, I'm not loving it, but you know, it's a start. It's a start. I need to resharpen. Okay, now it's time for a little bit more commitment here. And the commitment would be just eye placement. So I'm going to do like a little circle. And just, now this model's eyes are a little bit wider, spaced. There's a little bit more width in between her eyes, and I'm just staring. And they're pretty small. They're not that big. So I like to just do like a little circle like that, very lightly. That's how I like to start. Let me zoom in for you. Sorry. Cool. And I need a little drink of water here. Just hang out for 1 second. Yeah. The method you are using right now is more up my alley. It's freer without any extra constructive lines. Yeah. I mean, okay. So listen, what I would, and thank you, Tornike. Alls I can tell everybody here on the live stream is that you've got to experiment, and you've got to also not become too rigid with things. And I'll tell everybody a little bit of a story here. We'll have a little bit of story time. So when I was in my 20s and I started teaching in 1997, my first live drawing class was in 1998, I just basically taught how to draw the model from life like a painter with tone. And I didn't use any line. And I certainly didn't know how to draw out of my imagination. I sucked at drawing out of my imagination. And then I had a student, and they came into class, and they drew with line, and they got a likeness. And I was taken aback, and I'm like, holy Moses, that is incredible. I had no clue how they did that. And I didn't even try it. Like, it was so foreign to me that they drew the model accurately with line. And then a few years later, maybe 2 years later, I had another student, a foreign exchange student from Spain. And he was in my Saturday morning live drawing class, David. And David couldn't draw the model from life at all. His proportions were horrible. And then he showed me his portfolio of drawings out of his imagination, and my jaw dropped. I couldn't believe how good he was able to draw out of his imagination, but yet he couldn't draw from life. And I vowed at that point that I needed to learn different things, and that I needed to get out of my comfort zone and try different techniques. And yeah, David, that's why I like teaching, because you meet so many cool, interesting people. And meeting David changed me immensely. And that's when I started practicing the drawing from life, the drawing out of my imagination, and then drawing from photos. Now, I could draw from photos in my sleep because I had been doing it my whole entire life, but I could not draw out of my imagination like David. And, I was young, in my late 20s, maybe. I don't even remember. Yeah, late 20s. And I'm like, I'm a teacher here. I should be able to draw from life. Like this from my imagination. Like, this is crazy that I don't know how to do this. And so my point with this story is that you don't want to get too rigid, and you don't want to just fall into like one thing. Like you still want to get out of your comfort zone and try different techniques and fail a little bit and see what happens. And I think that's majorly important to growth. Sure, I could just draw from photos, but it wouldn't help me with growth. Yeah. Now, listen, this eye needs to be higher up because I just made her eyes level. Her lips are tilted, the nose is tilted, the chin is tilted, but the eyes are level. So, see, this is very, very, very important. Yeah, I am. Hi, Stacy. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Awesome sauce. Now, Stacy, listen, I get it that you can't make the Zoom classes, but I do have a lot of new content on the website. It's just all in the form of the live Zoom class. Okay, let me try to raise this model's eye. So I'm treading lightly here. I'm treading lightly. So I'm looking at the bottom of the iris down to the jaw. So I don't want to raise it too much, a little bit. Notice, everybody, I am not pressing down hard. I'm using soft pressure. And let's, this other eye is here. And I part of me wants to just try to experiment with drawing a little bit more painterly today and then kind of maybe refining one area. Moral of the story. Yeah, it is. It is constant. I wouldn't necessarily, for me, yeah, it's experimentation. I like the way that you phrased it. But for me, it's more about the disciplines. And the discipline is drawing from life, drawing from photos, and drawing out of your imagination. Because I've seen students over experiment and then they just get confused. So like I think you want to experiment slowly and stick with something for a while to give it a chance to kind of like blossom. Because like I'll see that when I'm teaching backgrounds at the School of Visual Arts in the animation department in the perspective class that I teach. I'll see students like 1 week they'll use one Procreate paintbrush, and then the next week they use another Procreate paintbrush, and before you know it, by the end of the semester, like they're still confused and they still don't like anything that they've done. And it's because they've experimented too much and they haven't given like one brush or one style a chance to take hold. And that's something for y'all to take into consideration. Okay, let's see. So that's kind of like my first go through. The eyes are not tilted enough. Shame on me. Shame on me. I'm going to lower this eye a little bit. I'm not going anywhere until I get these eyes placed. And I'm also, everybody, I'm looking at the distance from the edge of the eye to the edge of the hair. Because like I said, this model's eyes are a little bit further apart. Now, I don't know if I have the hair perfect, so I'm taking that into consideration. Now I've got a little bit more of a tilt to her eyes. And yes, better. And her eyebrow is pretty close to the eyelid. Eyelid, eyebrow. Getting over carpal tunnel surgery, when are the classes? Still Tuesdays? Yeah, I'm going to do them on Tuesdays. Starting September 3rd. That's when our fall semester at drawingtutorialsonline.com kicks in. And the whole entire semester is going to be stuff from the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Sculptures, paintings, rooms, everything. Each class that I teach this semester will be about something from the museum. So let me just look at Robertus Al-Limas. All head is not tilted to right side. Compare to reference. Yeah, I definitely see a tilt. When I say tilt, like I'm seeing this is not level. Like that's straight up and down. It's tilted a little bit. Not dramatically, just like a little bit. Yeah, totally. Okay, so that's my rough placement of everything. So what I should do right now is stand up, and I'm going to. I should stand up and look at my drawing, and then look at the reference, and then look at my drawing. So just give me a moment here to do that, okay? So you can see my waist here. I know this is exciting TV. Okay. So at this point in the game, I don't have a likeness. I definitely don't have a likeness. So then I need to do what? I need to start all over again. And you know, the thing with this is it's go-throughs. I would love to draw all the hands and the tattoos and stuff, but this is just going to be head and braids today. And I'm gonna change the braids. I might have them come straight down. Okay, so back to the beginning, and the beginning is here. So, okay, let me, we're talking a lot about tilts here. You have to understand that my camera is to the left. So this is my ruler, perfectly plumb. Plumb meaning straight up and down. So on the video, my camera is tilted. The only way that I could get the camera not to be tilted is if it's in front of my face. It's to my left, so the camera's tilted down like that. So there's going to be distortion on my paper. And so what I'll do at the end of the drawing, I'll post the drawing to the posts section of this YouTube on my channel, so you can see the drawing in its natural way. Because when I do drawings in a camera lens, I could never get the camera lens to be perfectly plumb and level, to use some carpenter's words, because the camera's to the left and there's distortion with the camera lens all the time anyways. So that there's some of that coming into play with the tilt. So just, you know, bear with me until I get some more pencil down on the paper. So now I'm going through the hair a second time, and I'm pressing down a little bit harder with my pencil to try to get a couple more darks. I'm thinking about shapes. And these values that I'm trying to draw now on our model's head, they're very important. And it's important to match values when you're trying to get a likeness. Okay, so the top of the hair over here is not black. It's not. It's kind of like a light mid-tone. Or, I'm sorry, it's a mid-tone. And so I want to just be very conscious of the value structure here, because that's going to help me with the likeness. This is a rim light. That's a warm rim light. And so I'm going to maybe come back into that with a warmer colored pencil. I don't know. We'll see if there's time. It's a little darker over here on the top. And then it's dark here. And a little darker here. So I'm just trying to match some of these values. Thank you, Phoenix. I appreciate that. We've got a ways to go. So you can just all see on YouTube that I did not commit to the eyes. Yeah, Stacy the Met is just great. Yeah, if you can't, and I get it. You know, it's hard. 2 o'clock in the afternoon is not easy for everybody. But you can watch the recording and maybe post a drawing to the critique gallery. That would be really fun. So I can check out your work and maybe give it another set of eyes to give you some critique. Okay, nose. The ear is above the nose. Okay, let's keep going here. I'm going to just try to solidify this jaw. Let's go back to this side. I want to get this darker value. I'll probably smudge all this with my hands as I'm working, but I'm okay with that because when I smudge the drawing, it's very, very easy to erase out. And, okay, cool. Yeah. So getting these little flips of hair is the character. Let me just get a little drink of water, 1 second. Yeah, Sergeant stuff is just really amazing. I was very, very fortunate to have a teacher. His name is back when I was in college, and we're talking late 80s. So it was a long time ago. And hey Jake, thanks for joining. I really loved your piece in the critique gallery this week. I think you were there with the likeness, with the face. I hope that I gave you some good direction with the hair. And I think if you work on that hair and you make that hair darker and you make it a little bit fuller with some more angles, the likeness is just going to kind of like jump right out. And yeah, no, that was awesome. Getting back to my little mini story here, I had a teacher in probably 87, 88 in my 3rd and 4th years of college. His name was Stephen Assell. And Stephen Assell was like is a modern day master with painting. And, you know, I kind of got the vibe that watching Stephen was like watching Sargent. His paintings are just they're amazing, and I learned so much. Like I would be in painting class, we'd be painting the model, and I would just stop working and just watch him paint. And what brushes was he using when like he painted most of his paintings back in the day when I used to watch him, with a lot of middle tones at first, and then at the very end, that's when he would plow in the dark darks and the light lights, and it was just amazing to watch him paint. He's got, yeah, Stephen Assell. Okay, so what else can I do here? I think I need to go a little darker on this girl's shadow. There's like a rim light. This will help me place the eye. I don't know if I love my cheekbone placement here. Hi, Audrey. Welcome to the live stream here today. If you have any questions, let me know. I'd be more than happy to help you. Yeah, I love Sargent's work. Absolutely. Just so good. The charcoal drawings, the paintings, everything. I never really got into the watercolors that much. Some people love the watercolors. I think they're amazing. Watercolor's not necessarily my thing, but I appreciate it. I think one of my favorite ones is the watercolor with the crocodiles. So good. Just trying to get a little bit of more pencil on the paper. I haven't decided if I want to use the brush. I think I will, but I want to just place a little bit more before I take out the brush and start pushing the pencil into the paper. So let's deal with the side shadow here on the lip, lower lip, the mouth muscle. I forgot the name of it. The chin. This gal has like a classic model's chin, very, very short chin. And we've got like a little shadow. Don't press down too hard here. Keep it somewhat light and soft. You don't want to be too crazy with that. This is the closest that I come to with pastels is this white charcoal pencil. And I'll use this on this drawing on the gray paper, and it'll be really pretty. But I've never really had good luck with pastels with doing this type of work. It's really not my thing. I'm not against it. I think for some people, like I do coaching with a gentleman, Scott, and Scott uses pastels, and I'll critique his pastel paintings like oil paintings because they look just like oil paintings, and so pastel is really, really good if it fits into the lifestyle that you choose, meaning you're a busy professional and you don't necessarily have time to work with oils and clean up and set up and mix paint, and it's easy. You can, when you're done working with the pastels, you can just kind of put them down and stop. And there's no cleaning of the brushes. There's no cleaning of the palette. There's none of that, right? And so for me, it's not that I like or dislike pastels. It's just they just don't work for me. And I'm basically a digital painter, an oil painter, and I just love the immediacy of working with the pencil because I could just pick it up and work and put it down. And when I used to paint book covers full time, like I'd mix paint in the morning. That would take me like almost 35 to 40 minutes every day. I'd mix the values for the section of the painting that I was working on. And then at the end of the day, I'd have to clean my palette. And at the end of the day, I would have to clean my brushes. And I would use at least 30 brushes a day. And at the end of the day, I'm like cleaning brushes. So a lot of this is about lifestyle and what's going to fit into what you can handle if you have a full-time job or you have a full-time family and art is your hobby and you're not earning a living from it. That's a whole nother can of worms. Hey, Elijah. Man, Elijah, I don't know what's going on with SVA. The enrollment is just, I had like 16 students enrolled, and I just checked Canvas, and I'm down to like 11. And I'm like, what the? So there's a big faculty meeting today at 3 p.m., and so hopefully they'll let us know what's going on. And there's just low enrollment. So if the class does run my foundation drawing, the one that you were in, Elijah, these students are going to get a lot of attention. They're probably going to be like, oh, I wish the class was bigger. There's only like 10 students. Matt's on my butt the whole time. It's nice probably when you're a student in a big class, like you can hide a little bit. I think it might actually be 10. So my other classes are pretty full, but not the foundation drawing class. Like every other class has like 18, 19 students. And in the spring, they're all like almost maxed out at like 20. So yeah, now, okay. I don't know about you, Elijah, but I can't wait to get back. And I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward. I miss everybody. I miss my routine. And yeah. Okay, now I said this model's eyes are pretty far apart. I don't know if I have them too far apart, but I don't want to judge just yet. So what I need to do, small classes get more, yeah, you can, absolutely. But, here's what I notice, Elijah. When people like I've had multiple students at the School of Visual Arts say, can I sit in on your class? I really like the way that you teach. I know I'm not enrolled. Can I sit in? And technically at SVA in the animation department, you're not supposed to do that. So I've only done that once or twice. And I only do it once or twice because I know that the student is not going to stay because they get bored with my repetition, Elijah. Yeah, my repetition. I tend to be very repetitive with what I teach because I'm a big believer in repetition as the mother of skill. And students don't need to learn 100 techniques. They need to master like 10 to 12 techniques, and they could pretty much draw anything, anytime. And yeah, so I'm a big believer in that. Bernardina, welcome back. Sammy, Kelly, and I are going to be in the spring class. You're in the Thursday afternoon class, I think. So that is ABC. You're in the D class? I hope you're not in the Friday morning class, because the people in the Friday morning class, those students, they're always come in. Like, even though last Friday morning, last semester, was one of the best classes I've ever had. Shout out to everybody in my Friday morning class, spring Friday morning. But man, some students hate waking up early on Friday. Which one are you in, Elijah? Is it the Thursday? Is really cool. It's so funny. Like last year, my Thursday, they didn't speak. I would ask them questions, and everybody would just be so quiet. Yeah. I am not gonna call Sammy's name. I am just going to call Sammy Mechanical Pencil. Yeah. I'm just calling Sammy Mechanical Pencil. And you tell Sammy I said that. I had Sammy in my foundation drawing class. Sammy would not use a different pencil. I begged Sammy to not just draw with the mechanical pencil, but it didn't work. It didn't work. Nothing against the mechanical pencil, but you don't want to draw the whole semester with the mechanical pencil. Constantinius, welcome. Hey, how many people we got here? Okay, cool. We've got 29 people. Thank you, everybody. I did not send out an email blast letting people know that I started, but that's my bad. I should know. I've been doing an online business now since 2006. I'm such a jerk. I forgot. Okay, so let's start with the tear ducts a little bit. I think I've got this eye a little bit too big. I'm going very, very gingerly here. I'm not pressing down hard. Notice I'm not going heavy with the lower eyelids. I'm kind of leaving them out. Truffles is getting old. Truffles is really getting old. And, my first French bulldog, who was like Truffles' mom, Chloe, we had to put Chloe down. Chloe was 12 and a half years old. And ever since we put Chloe down because she had a brain tumor back in May, Truffles has been lost. So yeah, it's really sad. And Truffles is like 11 or 11 and a half. And French bulldogs, they're not the longest living breed. They have like a lot of breathing problems. So I can note it's so sad. Like can really see that she's changed a lot since my other dog died. Yeah, okay. I'm supposed to be a YouTuber here. Yeah, could you give me a like? If you're not subscribed to the channel, could you subscribe to the channel? If you are subscribed to the channel and I forget to send out an email blast when I am doing this, maybe you want to click on the bell to get notified when I go live. I'm going to be going live every single Monday in September and September moving forward, because Tuesday is completely devoted to my membership people and drawingtutorialsonline.com, and the rest of the week is devoted to teaching at college at the School of Visual Arts. So my time is, yeah. I'm gonna try to, I haven't done shorts, but I'm gonna try to do a couple shorts, bringing in some of the things that I do in the classroom. Yeah. Okay, so I think Thursday, fall. Oh my God, I'm seeing you in first week in September. You're all, that's right, I remember. I saw you and in there. I'm not calling Sammy Sammy. Sammy has a new name, Mechanical. Sammy Mechanical. Okay. We're all digital in perspective class. So all of your homework, and you're really good digitally, so you're going to get even better. Everything, I ask that maybe the first week or two people do the homework with a pencil. There are a lot of copy sheets, and it's too easy to fake it digitally. So I won't get into the details, but I'll explain on first day of class. And I might have y'all just be old school with the first 1 or 2 weeks with the copy drawings, all the perspective exercises. But after that, it's all digital all the time. You can work in Procreate. You can work in any one of your favorite. No sketchbook in that class. Like, the homework is a lot. Because the biggest complaint, Elijah, that I get in that backgrounds perspective class is that I don't give people enough time. Everybody wants 2 weeks to do the homework, but if you can just wrap your brain around my backgrounds perspective class, that half of that class is about getting faster and cranking out a background every week. At the end of the 15-week semester, you will get so much better with your speed, and you will get so much better with your backgrounds. It's going to be awesome. And I just keep going back to the homework that you did in the diner. I know diners are like our favorite place. And if you did that good, Elijah, with the diner piece, oh my God, you're going to do so good with the backgrounds that you choose to do. And I'm going to talk about all stuff, composition, edges, how to control where the viewer looks first, second, and third in your backgrounds, all these really cool things. No sketchbook. Okay, so this tear duct is lower. It's very pointy. So this is a challenging pose. I'm not gonna lie. Like, these dead-on front views, they're hard. This is no joke. Now there's no white of the eye here, and I didn't really commit to going super dark with the eyes just yet. I don't know. I'm just starting like right now to go a little bit darker there. Is composition the same as stacking? Explain what stacking is to me. I don't know what that means. How long have we been working? We've been working for an hour. Not bad. Okay. Yeah, the model's head is a little tilted. I'm working on it, no doubt. This eye probably should be a little lower. Let me try to be a little aggressive with that. Yeah, it could be the same thing. Like, I've got composition for me is placement of shapes, and it's some composition is also, you also want to understand, people, if you're just joining me on YouTube, I'm holding my pencil right now and it's perfectly straight, but on YouTube it's tilted like that a little bit. So that's causing a little bit of the distortion. And I will post this drawing up to the post section of my YouTube channel. So you'll see, because this is tilted in real life here in my studio. Now, do I have it tilted enough? I don't know yet. I'm still figuring that out. But yeah, she's totally tilted. And maybe I'll exaggerate the tilt of the corner of the lips. So maybe that would be there. And this is a little lower. Yeah, that just helped. And I can lower this part of the jaw. Yeah, so who said that about the tilt? Yes, Alex, it's tilted. It's tilted. Just my video camera is not perfectly square. So the tilt is so subtle that the video camera is not really picking up what I have here in real life. Because in real life, I've got it tilted totally. Now, could I make it more tilted? You better believe it. So I really appreciate you, Alex Santos, reminding me about that. And sometimes I get tunnel vision when I do these live streams because I talk, and I don't have a problem talking and drawing, but it does sometimes, like, you rant a little bit, and then you're not really focused on the drawing when I'm talking too much. But yeah, so it's good practice. It's good practice. So getting back to composition, I teach composition. Like my first DVD, I'll get to your question in a second, Tornike. The first educational DVD that I made back in 2006 was called Figure Drawing, a Layered Approach. So everything that I teach in layers, and composition has so many layers to it. It's not just one thing. So stacking could be one aspect of composing a background, no doubt. Yeah, I appreciate that, Elijah. I missed your class so much. It was really great. If we could have just gotten Sammy to not only draw with a mechanical pencil, and if we could only have gotten, oh God, now I'm having a brain freeze with everybody's name. Why does that happen? Yeah, if we can only have gotten some people to come in on time, some people to stop talking, some people to stop eating McDonald's, it would have been even better. Okay, so let me see here. Let me just stop drawing for a second. Tornike, on average, how long does it take for you to finish a full figure drawing or portrait with all of its trappings? Okay, so it depends. Like it depends. Like this drawing, if I worked on this drawing for 5 hours, I'd probably say enough. Back in the day when I used to illustrate book covers were anywhere from 4 days to 10 days, depending on how many characters were on the book cover. So I remember I had a book cover painting that I had to do of like a Chinese New Year parade. These 3 girls, Christy and company, were in the parade. That painting took me 2 weeks, and that 2 weeks was working 8 hours a day. So yeah. But this, if I worked on this for 5 hours, I think that would be cool for me. I've noticed that as I've gotten a little bit older and I'm teaching more and more, 5 hours is a good chunk of time for me to devote to a drawing like this. Yeah. 5 hours, I understand, is nothing. It really is not a lot of time. Now, in the animation department, Elijah, 5 hours is the class. The drawings, if they were over 20 minutes, I'd get a lot of huffs and puffs. Absolutely. Right? Yes. Oh, we got the faculty meeting today. I hope we've got good news with enrollment numbers. The head is tilted. I've got to keep reminding everybody that I'm not losing my mind. There is a tilt here in my studio. I don't want to get into holding my pencil. Wait, you guys eat McDonald's in art? No. Okay, listen. I have a group of students, or had a group of students. I won't get into the details. But, we have lunch, and everyone leaves the classroom because it's a 6-hour class. You got to get out. That line's too heavy there. You got to get out of the classroom during lunchtime. So I had a group of students. The only thing that they ever ate was McDonald's. And I would trash talk them so bad because they had McDonald's for breakfast and for lunch, because it was right down the block and it was very convenient, and they were addicted to it. They were addicted, and I'm not judging them. I'm just having fun right now on the live stream. That's all. But yeah, they were addicted, and I'm like, just be careful, people. You don't want to eat that too much. It's gonna destroy you. I'm really, really opinionated on food, and that's no good. So I'm gonna keep my opinions to myself. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I have a rule. I don't want anyone eating in the classroom. I'm not into that. So everybody goes out for lunch. And technically, the animation department at the School of Visual Arts, they just completely spent millions of dollars on renovating the floors, the 6th floor and the 7th floor. And the facilities are brand spanking new. And I think there is kind of a rule from the department that you're not allowed to eat in the classrooms. And I love that rule, because things could get, you've got 18-year-old art students, and I love them all, but things could get destroyed very, very quickly. I know, I've got a 19-year-old boy. So, yeah, I think that's a really good little rule: no eating in the brand new, beautiful classrooms, especially the ones with computers. Yeah, no, that's another reason why. I'll tell you a quick little story. Years ago, before I made my rule of no eating in the classroom, 2 students used to drive me cuckoo. One girl would show up to my life drawing class 20 to 25 minutes late every week with a bagel, and just proceed to everyone's drawing. Everyone's just getting into drawing. And the student would take the bagel out of the paper bag, making all the noise, unwrapping the bagel, chewing the bagel. So we would hear all these noises. And I'm like, okay, that's it, done. You can't do that. I let it go. And then the next semester, I'm like, there's no eating. You have to eat before you come to class. You have to eat at lunch, not go playing at lunch and then buy lunch and bring it into the classroom. I'm giving you plenty of time to go and eat. And so, yeah. Elijah, I film everybody's sketchbook in any year because students work on sketchbooks on their own. But I need to change things up with the sketchbooks. I need to buy microphones, because I filmed 2 students whose sketchbooks were spectacular. And for whatever reason, I am not judging, but they decided to wear a mask because they didn't want their face to show in the sketchbook video. And I could respect that. But I couldn't use the sketchbook video, Elijah, because I couldn't even hear one word they were saying. So between the mask and not having a microphone, so I really need to invest in getting like a lapel mic for my iPhone. So I won't be filming any sketchbooks in September. I'll probably start filming sketchbooks in mid-October to November, December. Absolutely. I know we talked about filming yours. So you could technically start a new sketchbook and work on it, and we could film it in November or October. Okay, let me look at some of this. I think I'm going to have to go to the bathroom here in a second and stretch. Elizabeth, I would have dismissed the student. The page you are drawing on is very dark and hard to see. Can you put more light on it so old man can see the details? It's actually very light in my studio, because if I have my iPhone case, like, it's black, and that's black, right? And now if I put some values down, like, that's black, and I take my mouse, and that's white. So what's happening, Fusil, is I haven't really pressed down hard yet. So why don't we do this? Let me take a stretch break, a bathroom break. Let me reset my eyes, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to start to use my brush, and I'm going to start to power in and go really a little bit darker. Now, even when I show you this drawing that I did on August 6th, maybe, that's as dark as it's going to get. And it, like, yeah. So I just think what I'm showing you here, and yes, she is tilted, and I need to keep tilting more and more. I need to go darker with everything. Right now, everything is just gray. That's why you're having a hard time seeing it, because that's just the nature of me starting with these grays. Okay, I'll be right back. Just give me like 1 to 2 minutes. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so getting back to the tilt, I have the tilt. It just needs to be slightly more. On video, it doesn't look tilted at all. It doesn't look tilted at all on the video screen. So just understand that I'm acknowledging that it doesn't look tilted on the video screen. It's tilted in real life, but it needs to be tilted more. And I'm acknowledging that, no doubt about it. So I'm going to raise this. And I'm going to lower this. Yeah, so the other thing is that this is not white paper, it's the tone tan. So that's the other thing that's happening. Like the tone tan is absolutely so beautiful, but it's not the best for video, to say the least. That's cool, Elijah. We'll check it out. I definitely just got to get those like lapel mics. I'm going to be using this white charcoal pencil, Ricardo, and I'm waiting to use the white charcoal, but it will be used. So right now, what I'm doing is I'm working with the regular pencil as much as I can before I start to dive into using the white pencil. Yes. But I will, the drawing will pop. Now, I don't love how I use the white. This drawing is for sale. There's a link in the show notes. If you click on more and you see there's a link if you want to purchase this drawing. Like I use too much of the white charcoal on this one. I still love this drawing, but I want to experiment with using a little less this time. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Awesome. Yeah, I just, you have to just hold back. It's like the white charcoal pencil, Ricardo, is like dessert. Like it's very easy to eat dessert first, but you have to wait for dessert until you get like the proper nutrients. And so with real food, and I'm just trying to get like this drawing, give it the nutrients of the likeness before I get into dessert. If that kind of makes sense. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is be a little bit aggressive. And get in some darker values by just using the brush. So soon as you start to use the brush, the pencil becomes one value darker. So this is a good technique if, when you draw, your hand starts to hurt because you're pressing down so hard with the pencil that you're trying to make it look really dark. Like this saves you a ton of time. And you don't want to overdo this, but I love doing this. It's pretty cool. I do love Prudhon's drawings. I used to like love them even more. I forgot all about them. I forgot all about them. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, in my paint box that I would bring to life painting class when I was in college, I had a postcard on the inside, and I didn't even know who the artist was, but I loved the artist's image. It was a Prudhon, or Prudhon, however you say it. I should know how to say that. And so that was definitely one of my role models. So for those of you who don't like oil painting because it's too labor intensive, you don't like that the paints take forever to dry, what I'm doing right now with this paintbrush is the same thing I would be doing if I was oil painting. We're just blending. It's pretty fun. You don't want to overdo it, just a little bit. Can start to get like a little choppy if you overdo this. So what you see so far is a lot of subtlety. Notice the only place I really have dark is here, here, and here. Maybe a little bit on that eye, but the skin in the shadows, I'm not like being too heavy with everything just yet. Like I'm still not 100% sold on my proportions and likeness. So I just discovered a cast shadow there. Okay, cool. I didn't see that. Yeah, you could use if you want. I have this just to show people, but you could use this. I don't like this because it takes too much of the pencil off of the paper. This is a cheap Bristol brush, and it works really good. You could also get one that's like a little bit bigger, and don't be afraid to let the pencil go off to the side because hair is very, very, very soft. This side should be a little bit darker. So this is a little pretty aggressive. Okay. Oh, God. Okay. That is so funny. Where is Mechanical? Is Mechanical sleeping? Mechanical used to come in late all the time. The heck, Sammy. Mechanical. Now, okay. Who is Kiss You? Okay, I'm going a little bit darker now. Here. Kelly. Hi, Kelly. You got your pink purple pencil thing? Pink purple people eater pencil? Yes. You're working digitally in perspective class. I will see you on September 4th. And homework, are you ready for homework? Because you're getting a lot of it. People hate the first 4 weeks of class. It's going to be torture. You have a lot of copy sheets to get through. And you're going to be doing perspective Jordan's crazy with trucks, and it's going to be cool. Thuns. Is Thuns who I think it is? It's 7 p.m. I'm not asleep. Thuns, I will not call you Sammy. I will call you Mechanical Sammy or Mechanical or Mech. The good news is I'm okay with you using a Mechanical for some of your perspective homework drawings when we do some of them with pencil. Most of it's just going to be digital. It's going to be fun. And you should show up on time because the class starts at 3:20. So that there's no excuse. There's no excuse now for not showing up on time. Absolutely. Mechanical Sammy, yeah, that's cool. I like that. Okay, so how am I liking this drawing? It's okay. I'm just, yeah, I wish I would go a little faster. I'm a little slow today. Yeah. It's a cool class. I love the room. It's a great classroom. And yeah. You don't have to wake up at 9 o'clock, so there's no more excuses. This is so completely different than what we do in the classroom, huh? Yeah, no promises. I got you. I got you. We didn't do this sort of stuff in the classroom. Just, I need to get back to teaching here. Let's see, where am I? I don't want to go too dark on the lower eyelid. Just want to turn it a little bit. I don't love front views like this. Like, it's almost like too perfect. Oh no, Wes. Oh no, Dylan. Wes, I just was on Instagram and I saw your Instagram. And it's all friends photos. No artwork. So you didn't share any of your perspective, but I don't think you can share some of that. Oh my God. Okay, let me shut up. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Your perspective class on that Friday morning was really good. Really good. Some of those classes, man, I was so tired at the end of the semester on those Friday mornings. Oh, I see. Okay. I see. Notice I'm not going ultra dark on the nostril right now. I'm just suggesting. I don't like this eye. I need to work on this eye. So her eyes are pretty far apart. Let me just give the eye a value and the tear duct. Oh boy, let's see. I did long time ago a 3D portrait. It was tough. The proportion rules are created in 2D, so it wasn't much match. What's your favorite? I guess I tend to like more of the old masters. Like I like people like John Leon Jerome, Alphonse Maria Mucha. I like Sargent. I like John William Waterhouse's drawings. And then illustrators. I used to be big into looking at like illustrators like Rockwell. Like Rockwell is very old-fashioned for a lot of people, but Rockwell's process was just amazing. So I followed a lot of people like that. Like I never really followed Loomis. I I like Bridgman before I like Loomis. And I'm going to be totally for real here. I did not draw the Loomis head for the first time until like a few weeks ago. I never drew the Loomis head. I'm thinking maybe I saw it when I was younger because I kind of have my own version of like a Loomis head. And maybe I saw it and I misinterpreted it and I made up my own thing. And I've been teaching that my own thing for years in the classroom. But looking back, when a student asked me to do the Loomis method for the portraits, and I did it, and I'm like, I've never drawn this before. And so yeah, it's weird. It's really weird. I'm not against any of that stuff. I think it's all really, really cool. But I always followed more like old master stuff. Hi, Carl. Welcome. For my animation students, this has got to be so boring. We're not doing gestures. Absolutely, we're not. This is the other side of your teacher. Long drawings. And yeah. I'm looking for my mono zero, and there it is. Okay, we need a little highlight here. This is like in the weeds, people. Just tapping. And with this nostril, I want to kind of be a little light. It's in the light, so I don't want to go too dark. Just kind of suggesting. I also want to get that tilt of the nose. Okay, there you go. I appreciate that. You know, the enrollment is really, really, really down. I've been looking at my Canvas courses, and my foundation drawing class barely has any students. It's crazy. So it's a little scary because I love teaching that class, and I do hope it runs. But we'll see. There's a faculty meeting today, and I'll get the dirt on what's happening with enrollment. But I will see you, Wes, around the hallways, and I will see you in my advanced life drawing class in 4th year of college. It is the best class for 4th year students because the homework is optional, because I give homework, but I leave it optional because your thesis film, and it's such a cool, chill environment to draw in that class in 4th year, because it's one of the last, if you take it in the spring, it's like one of the last times you'll hang out with all of like your friends in a life drawing situation, and it's just really fun. So maybe I will see you in that class. This eye is kicking my butt. Both of these eyes are kicking my butt. For proportions, what I recommend for proportions is just analyzing. Analyzing like, okay, what is above the corner of the mouth, which I have wrong? What is above the corner of that? What is across from the bottom of that eye? What is across from the top of that eyebrow? That's what I recommend for proportions. Like, it's just measurements. Like you don't need to follow an old master to do those types of measurements. Like, you just do those types of measurements because you have to stop and you have to look and you have to compare and you have to analyze. And it's not good for when you want to learn how to draw fast. It's not good for gesture. It's good for this style of drawing where you slow down and you measure. So like I'm also measuring width. So if I look at the corner of the model's mouth, I'm looking at the distance from here to here. And maybe I have that distance a little bit too big. And then I say, all right, now I'm going to go up from the corner, and this nose needs to be a little bit more to the right. So I'll try to make that nose go more to the right. And so this is just simply called comparative analysis, and no old master. Like I've never, I don't really read the books. I look at the pictures. That's why I was an illustrator for so many years, because I just love pictures. But I've never read in any book of any old master where they kind of are explaining how they get their proportions. Now, yeah, Loomis, all that jazz, but I think for me, it's as basic as being able to draw accurate shapes. So, for instance, like this shape of the blue background between the model's neck and the hair is really not that accurate. And I could make it a little bit more accurate simply by coming on in with my eraser and making it a little bit wider. Yeah, totally. So for me, it's a lot of this comparative analysis stuff. And I never read that in a book. It just, a teacher used to come up in my painting class and steal my paintbrush, and they'd be like, what's right up above, what's right below the head? Look, you've got the foot all the way to the left. And they take the paintbrush and paint over it. I'm like, oh no, you just ruined my painting. Now what do I do? So yeah, training your eye. That is such a fun class, Wes. It really is. And the other beautiful thing about that is that you could bounce off your thesis backgrounds and show them to me in that class, and I don't have to be your thesis instructor, and you can get a second opinion on background stuff. And so that's another benefit of taking that class. I still haven't even touched the white charcoal pencil yet. I don't know why. How long have we been doing this for? An hour, 10:30, 11:30, an hour, almost like an hour and 40 minutes. Yeah, I gotta fix that right now. Thank you, Elizabeth. So corner of the lips, angle up, angle down, angle up. Look at the distance between this dark mouth opening and the nostril. Angle down. And now let's open the mouth a little bit. So let's just do the lower lip. And this drawing has a long way to go, people. I'm not loving it. Like they say at McDonald's, I'm not loving it. Collarbone. I know. It's just I'm trying to get the likeness. Like to go down to the collarbone, it's just going to open up Pandora's box, which I am. It's time, Dylan, time, and decisions. I'm just trying to do my best to get like a little bit more of the likeness, which I do not have. But yeah, when I'm done with this live stream, we have our faculty meeting today for the animation instructors. I will draw on this drawing this afternoon. And if I'm honest, the white on the left of the right eye is too big. This? What do you mean? The white on the left of the her right eye. This. Oh, okay, yeah. I love it, Lisbeth. I love it. I like another set of eyes on my drawing. So you just keep the comments coming, okay? I just, I'm pointing with my pencil. Do you mean here, Elizabeth? Oh, the left side of it. So this white of the eye. Okay. All right. I'll work on it. I'll work on it. I like the constructive criticism. That's part of doing the live stream, a little bit of back and forth. If I wanted to be bored out of my skull, I would just sit in my studio alone and draw. Um, it's all good. I like critiques. It'll help me. Like I forgot who reminded me of. No, Elizabeth, you're good. You're good. I like commentary. It's awesome. It's going to help me. I want to do a good job. So what if you see something, you tell me. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. That's part of the beauty of doing the live stream. There's a lot that is not correct with my drawing. It's okay. It's okay. I'll get you. I'll get you. I just need to keep working. I have my process where I'll see it eventually. I'll see it eventually. Now, I think I'm going to start to use a little bit of the white charcoal just to see what that does for me. I do like going darker here. Got you. Got you. I see it. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm just going to keep moving around and not get stuck right now. Yeah, it's a slow process. It's a slow process. It's like at this point in the game, it's a lot of little mini measurements, right? Um, okay, let's see. Where are we? This is, thank you, Carl. Appreciate that. I'll get there, Elizabeth. I'll get there. I'm just going slow. I'm going slow. Okay, what I need to do is I need to sharpen my eraser. And I'll post this drawing to the post part of drawingtutorialsonline.com maybe later tonight or tomorrow when I'm somewhat finished with it. I love it. I love it. Yeah, just for YouTube, I'm going to start using the white charcoal soon, just because it's fun and just to show you some different techniques. I still probably would work on it like another hour. Before I use the white charcoal. Right now, this is at a 45-degree angle, my drawing paper. My drawing board, my computer screen, my Cintiq screen that I'm taped paper onto, is at a 45-degree angle. When I draw in the classroom, I work on an easel, and I stand up. And sometimes I'll sit on the drawing horse and put my drawing pad on my legs, and that is at a 45-degree angle. So I love drawing at 45-degree angles. It's definitely very comfortable on my body and on my eyes. After a while, when I work at the easel standing up, my shoulder starts to get a little bit tired. But yeah, no, 45-degree angle. What happens with that is that you're resting all of the weight of your arm on your hand, and so it's a little bit easier on your body. Yeah, this is a 5-hour drawing minimum for me, and we're not quite at 2 hours. Yeah, I love 45-degree angle. It's very comfortable, very comfortable. So let me go to what Dylan suggested with that collarbone, because this might help me with the proportions. So I'm going to look at the collarbone to the chin. This is the cylinder of the throat. Down to the collarbone, collarbone top. Just suggesting there's a cast shadow. So this neck. Stacy, if you go to my channel, well, you know me, I don't really eat too many carbs, but my wife just bought a strawberry pie, very, very Georgia, and very Georgia, and I was bad, and I had it 3 days in a row. I could not. It was in my kitchen. The freaking pie was humongous, and I ate it. And I loved every freaking minute of it. So I'm a big pie person. Blueberry, all that jazz. Totally. Yeah. That's my favorite right now. But yeah, I mean, my whole life was bakery goods. And so, yeah. So I had to stop because bakery goods as I've gotten older, they don't work for me anymore. Absolutely not. As much as I'm addicted to them, so I'm reining in my addictions. bakery goods. Stacy, go to drawingtutorialsonline.com, the channel page. There you will see posts. Click on post, and the photo reference of this gal is right there. So if you're working along with me, Stacy, you could post your drawing to the critique gallery at DTO, and I can critique your drawing and give you some tips and pointers, and I think that'd be pretty cool. If anyone's interested in my one-on-one coaching, there's a link below in the show notes where it says more, and you can check out that link. And if you're interested and you have any questions, let me know. How the coaching works is that you sign up, and after you sign up, you'll get an email with instructions. But basically, you're going to send me 5 to 10 pieces in your portfolio. You're going to write down and share with me why you signed up for the coaching, what are your goals, what are you struggling with, and then I'll film a video critique of your artwork, and then we have a follow-up Zoom call. And then during that Zoom call, we talk about a path forward together, and I give you homework, and then we meet in another 2 weeks, and you send me your work, and I critique it a second time. I draw over it in Photoshop, and then we meet again. So we meet on Zoom a grand total of like 4 times. If you hate Zoom, we could just simply have a telephone call. I have a coaching student, Scott, who I've been coaching for years, and we've never done a Zoom call, only a telephone call. Yeah, it just takes me a little bit to see things, especially when I'm talking like this. I don't like outlining the lip like this, but I just want to put something there. I do have my work cut out for me. I do have my work cut out for me. No doubt. Just doing a little different things, different values with the lips. All right, Wes. I can't even talk, Wes. I will see you in the hallways, okay? You be good. You enjoy the rest of your summer. We got 2 weeks left. Thanks for hanging out for a couple minutes here with me. This ain't your average animation class. Strawberry pie. All right. Let's see. So we are right now at 2 hours with this live stream. I'm going to keep pushing it a little bit more. I'm going to keep pushing it just a little bit more here. It's much darker in real life than it looks in. I'm just going to pause for a second and do something different here. Okay, and where am I? Cool. Okay, so this is where we're at right now with this gal. And it looks a little different when I hold it up this way. We still have a ways to go. We still have a ways to go with it. It's not even close to being finished. But yeah, we're getting there. Oh, God. Yeah, that would kill my... I can't. I definitely have a meeting at like 3 o'clock I need to be at. So you can see it looks different when you look at it this way. It's still not her, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Okay, let me put this back. And let me go here. Cool. I just want to make sure it's plumb and level, so just bear with me for a moment. Okay, cool, good enough. So, yeah. There's a lot of things I could do. I think I'm going to just have a go at it and use some of the white charcoal. Now, I really want to do the white charcoal in the eye. I just don't think like I've captured her eye yet, and I think it would be kind of silly for me to start doing white charcoal there. Even though, like, it would be fun. So I'm just right now doing like a downward pencil stroke, keeping it simple. Now, the beautiful thing about this white charcoal is putting it down, if it doesn't work for me, it's easily erasable. Easily erasable. And I'm going to blend it. For me, Paul, I spent 2 years of my life when I was in college deliberating, do I start my career using oils? Do I start my career using acrylics? Oils are no good for you. Acrylics dry faster. It's easier to clean my... Like, I debated that for years. And I realized out of the paintings that I like in the museum, there's not one that was done with acrylics. And the best painters use oils. Um, and so, like, it was a no-brainer for me that I was going to use oils. And yeah, I'm so happy that I made that decision, that I decided to use oils and not use acrylic. But I would use acrylic on my underpaintings to save time. And so that was fun. And now I will use acrylic. One second. As a base for a drawing. So this drawing was drawn on top of acrylic board on acrylic paint. So this thing right here is acrylic here that I washed, and I draw on top of it with what I'm using now. So if I had all the time in the world, people, this is what the drawing would look like. But, you know, I'm doing the best that I can in the allotted time that I have here on the live stream. But I would never be able to paint the skin tones that I painted with acrylics. Never. I could never make that happen in a gazillion years. Oils was just so much easier. And quite frankly, the hardest part of the face for me was always over here and over here, because that's where I had to blend. And it was so hard to blend that. That was my biggest struggle when I first started. Yeah, I have a lot of work to do here. I knew that this was going to take forever. I knew this was going to take a long time, but it's kind of hitting me right now that this this is going to take a while. It's really bright over here. I don't want to press down too hard on this pencil. And yeah. So, yeah, this is now, I don't know how interesting this is for you all to watch me do this, but this is just going to take a while. No doubt. But it's fun. And when you nail the likeness, it's even more fun. The idea is to keep asking yourself the question, where's my lightest lights? And yeah. And where's my darkest darks? Now, I could do so much more with the pencil before I come in here, but I'm just doing this for the live stream people to show you what you can accomplish with this pencil paper combo. I shouldn't be doing this yet with the white charcoal. I should get more of an accurate drawing before I start to go in with this. But it's fun. don't go too crazy with the white pencil on this side because that's the darker side of the light. There's a lot of highlights on the lips. I'm not even going there. I sometimes use blend-in stumps more than like a tortillion, and I do use a kneaded eraser Carol. It's just that this drawing is so tiny that I think I have more control when I use this thing. Now, there's also like the rim light over here, but I don't know if I want to do the rim light. I could. You all need to make like a decision. Which light is going to be brighter, the rim light or the point light? You don't want to have the rim light and the point light the same brightness. Because then why? Because that makes it look a little bit flatter. So what I like to do, so I'm going to use like a softer brush now, a little bit more pliable, is just blend and push that white charcoal into this paper. So it starts to become a little bit smoother, and I could save texture for some of my final layers. You can see that this is a very, very, very long process. I'm kind of almost like scrubbing. The pencil in the white charcoal. Now, it would be really super duper fun if I went in and I did all the rim light. I do wish that, you know, I had a couple of different colored charcoal pencils. Like I would like to do this hair like a warm color. Just bear with me. I want to see what I have. I do have, this might work. This might work. Ooh, this is not charcoal. That is a nice color. So on the hair, it's more this, not orange. I think I'm going to use these two. And this. So this is like a value. So that's a mid-tone, that's a light mid-tone, that's a light. So at risk of screwing everything up, let's just see. Let me do a test. Oops. That'll work for me. And does this erase? So let's do a test. Yeah, not great, but it does erase. How light is that? Does that erase? Yeah, not great. And how light is this? Okay, I might venture with this. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you with the mouth and the teeth. I just haven't spent time on it. I'm just picking and choosing my battles here on the live stream. But yeah, that needs to be open. I'm just curious. I don't need to go too crazy with color, like a little bit. And you probably can't even see it on the live stream. My camera's probably not that good to even pick it up. There's almost like no edge there. So just going a little bit more powerful and a little less timid. This isn't covering the Col-Erase great as well as the other pencils that I use, but I'm just experimenting. Yeah. Put these like little flicks. I like this. Like I'm going way too fast, people. Like honestly, like this would take me hours to really do a complete likeness style drawing. But all of this is just for your benefit here on the live stream. Just trying to teach you what is possible with just a regular pencil and a little bit of time and patience. Now, this would probably be better. I'm curious. Can I go? Oh, it's not really going over the colored pencil that great. This is brighter, but it's cooler. So maybe I will just fuss with this for now. But honestly, I should be doing more with the dark pencil first. Yeah, I can go crazy with that stuff. That's where the fun is. Oh my god, my pencil sharpener is completely full. I think my dog needs to go out, people. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I've been working on this for 2+ hours. I need to stand up. I need a little break. I got to see if my dog needs to go out. If you just bear with me, I will be back in like 4 minutes. Okay? I will be right back. Love banging your knee on the chair. Love it. Okay, I'm back. Both dogs went out and got a cup of coffee. So let's see. Let me change my glasses. Whatchamacallit? Yeah. All right. We're back and needs work. It needs work. I don't hate it, but it's getting there. So pineapple moonshine. Boy, that must screw you up. Oh, really? Okay, I didn't know that. I got it from Graphite Studio. All the poses were clothed. Okay. Wow. Okay, cool. Hey, God bless. It's from Graphite Studio. I get emails from them a minimum of like once a week with new photo packs. And I saw this one and I bought it because the model was clothed. And sometimes for YouTube, it's just easier to do clothes than not use a clothed model. So I'm just going to do some like loose strands of hair here. Pineapple sunshine with the dirt. Jeez. Okay. I did not know that. Live and learn. Bring in the dirt. All right, there we go. So funny, Jesus. Good to know. Maybe I shouldn't use this for my class at SVA. This photo reference then. This is really dark. And I gotta go darker here. And she's got bigger pupils. Yeah, both dogs needed to go out. So my wife's on a very important call. So one of the dogs just was scratching at my office door. So I'm like, yeah, they need to go out. My wife can't go out right now. Any questions? So I'll probably work on this today while I am at the faculty meeting, the Zoom faculty meeting for the animation department. That is at 3 o'clock. So I'll work on this while I'm listening. And I will work on it before that meeting and maybe a little bit after, depending on if my butt is killing me from sitting down. Yeah. But I like this model and I like this photo and the drawing has a lot of potential. It just like everything else, it needs a little tender loving care and it needs the 4-letter word, which is time. It just on this style of drawing for me just takes time. I have my loose style and I like that, but this is not my loose style. This is just a little bit tighter, and tighter for me just is more time consuming. That's all. Yeah. Carol, where are you from, Carol? I haven't spent any time on this ear. Anybody have any questions that you need help with, or let me know. I'm here. Any ideas for a future live stream? That would be cool too. How might I fix her if her face is too narrow? It's from here to here, the cheekbones, and angling that in and angling that in. So it's what you're looking for, Stacy, is the width from her lash to the edge of the cheekbone, lash to the edge of the hair. Let me just get a little swig of this. All right, Lisbeth, thank you. So the thing with Jake layering the white charcoal, like I think if I look back, I'm gonna ruin this drawing. I like this drawing a lot, but if I look back on it, I shouldn't have made it so thick so soon, because I like it, but it almost looks like she has like white makeup on. And Poland, oh, awesome! I have a really good friend from Poland, Tomik. Yeah, so I shouldn't have like caked this one on. Like this feels, even though it's not finished, it feels like a little bit more translucent. And I want to, like, I have two different brushes, Jake. Where are they? 1 second. I've got this longer Bristol brush that's very pliable, and I look at what I'm doing. I'm doing a circular stroke. So this is really taking a lot of it off, and it's pushing it also into the paper. This one is a little bit stiffer, and I like this because I can get into small areas and I can really be aggressive. So, Jake, what I'm doing here basically is pushing the pencil. Like I first did straight up and down pencil strokes, thinking like that would be how I would do it if it was a short drawing. But since this is a long drawing, I still want to do those up and down white pencil strokes. But I want to have that on the final layer, and I want to have that in the highlight areas, if that makes sense. I haven't used the white charcoal like on the lips, or like some of it you just have to save for the quote unquote like highlights at the end. And I'm being very, very like conservative right now. I'm being very, very simple with the stroke. It's just going straight up and down. Normally, I like to do more of a pencil stroke that wraps around form. But what you also need to understand is that I'm a little premature with the charcoal. I usually would do 90% of the drawing with black and white, just the Col-Erase pencil. And I would save the white charcoal until the very, very end. Yeah, the tattoos, they're doable. They're doable. It's just like it would be the same old boring, where you're watching me lay them in an extremely light manner. So it would take a long time. I'm not against it because I do have room at the end of the bottom of the paper. I'm not against it, and I'll see. I still have a lot of darks that need to be built up. When I am finished with this drawing will be for sale, and I will put the link. I will put it in the posts, and if anybody is interested in purchasing this, I like to sell my drawings framed, but mailing a framed drawing is a crapshoot, like, because sometimes glass cracks in transit. These drawings just look amazing framed. When you receive just like a drawing that's on paper, it doesn't feel as grandiose as if it was in a frame. I think what I like with these drawings is I matte them, and then I put the matte in the frame. I don't like having the drawing go right up to the edge of the frame. I like there to be a matte. So just a side note, if you like the way this drawing eventually comes out, because it still needs a lot of work, yeah, this drawing will be for sale. The reason why I'm selling these drawings is because I literally have thousands of drawings. I don't know what to do with them anymore. I've been doing this now, oh my God, for so many years, almost like 40 years if I include college. And so, needless to say, I've got so much artwork, I don't even know where to put it anymore. Nice. It is life-changing, the Panasonic sharpener. Mine's like full, and all day long, the pointiest of the points. I love it. I need to empty it. It's getting a little messy on my side desk. I don't know how interesting this still is for everybody, for you to be watching me do this. So just chime in if you've had enough of this. Yeah, because for me to work on these eyes, I like you see my bald head? Like, I need to get so much closer to the drawing. Like, I'm trying to stay out of the drawing with my head, and so I'm not really able to get close up to these features. And so yeah, you let me know. Like, I don't know, because I don't know how exciting this is for you to be watching right now. I know there are artists on the internet who teach this sort of style, and they're working on their drawings for like 10, 15 hours and even longer than that. So this is really nothing. So we've been doing this now for 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, coming up on close to almost 2 hours and 40 minutes with one break. Let me work on the mouth a little bit. Back to the mouth. Just make the corners of the lips like a little bit softer. I've got two corners of the lips, and I don't know why there's like a little texture in the paper there that the pencil's going into. I don't like that. So what I do here is I take my pencil and I do like a circular stroke. and that tilts up a little bit. And there's a little space in between the two front teeth. I could clean that up in there with the kneaded eraser. Thank you, Kiss You. Bye, Kelly. Kiss you. Kelly, I will see you in the hallways, and I know you will just look at me and laugh. But I appreciate that. I'll see you in school, okay? Okay, if Kelly's leaving, it's time to end this live stream soon. Elizabeth. Yeah, it's they're young. Like my foundation drawing students at the college are like 18 years old, and some of them are away from home for the first time. I do like to draw from my imagination. I just don't do it enough. Like for me, I do a lot of the drawing demonstrations in my classroom from my imagination, just because I'm trying to teach like specific techniques, and a lot of the techniques, like with everything, whether it's form, line, light and shade, most of what I do is from my imagination when I'm doing those drawing demonstrations. So I don't do it enough. I do enjoy it. And it was, for me, when I was younger, I just thought that was like impossible to be able to draw out of one's imagination. And then I heard, like when I was younger, that, I'm talking high school, that the old masters used to draw all these like realistic figures out of their imagination. And I thought that was impossible. And I didn't really learn how to draw out of my imagination until I was in my 30s. Now, did I draw out of my imagination in my 20s? Yeah, I did, but my drawings sucked. They were like illustration sketches. So when you're an illustrator, you have a few rounds of sketches. So the first round of sketches is called the rough sketch. And so you would have to send the art director a minimum of like 3 rough sketches. And that would get the dialogue started as, are you in the right direction for the scene for the book cover? But my drawings, like, were so bad when I first started out of my imagination. And it wasn't until like that earlier story that I talked about, like in the live stream, about Dave, who drew everything out of his imagination, and he was so good. And that's when I started to practice. So what I would do is I would draw the model in class, and I would draw the model after class. Like I would hire the model to stay, and I would work on the drawing. Like I used to do like 3-hour drawings in class after class. I had the model like extend the pose, and I would pay them. And I would go back home on the Long Island Railroad train, the commuter train, and I would have my sketchbook, and I would try to, it was really drawn out of my memory. I would try to remember what the pose actually looked like and reimagine it. And that's how I started to get better at drawing out of my imagination. And then I, discovered the torso peanut shape with the bodies, and and then what happens when you draw so much from life and from photos is that you start to build up a visual vocabulary of images in your brain. And, this cannot be rushed. Like it takes years to do that. But if I had to sit down right now and start to draw out of my imagination, I could. What happens is my ego will get in the way, and if the drawing doesn't come out like perfect, like my ego will kick into gear and be like, oh, everyone's going to see that you did a shitty drawing, Matt. Like, that looks terrible. But some of, like, I've had a coaching student in the past, and I showed them one of the drawings that I was just mucking around with out of my imagination. And they were like, oh my God, that drawing is just so completely different than your drawings from photos. Like, it just looks so much more like alive, and it moves. And I'm like, that's interesting. No one's ever really told me that. And they're like, you should show more of those drawings, and maybe one day I will. But right now, it's all about choices and time. So yeah, but I do totally enjoy drawing. I think this chin is too long, out of my imagination, or maybe the lips need to be thicker. Hercule Poirot. Well, Hercule, I'm going to say HP. I used to paint book covers for a living, and I forgot I got my coffee. Hold on one second. And I literally, I'm not joking, this is like the 90s and the early 2000s until about like 2008. And I would be in my studio literally painting 8, 9, 10 hours a day. And so it would get pretty lonely. And I remember, like, one of my first best things that I ever bought was like this really expensive AT&T phone. It had like a speaker phone, and I would just call family members and friends while I was painting, because I literally would sit down in the chair like I'm doing right now for hours and paint. And I would get lonely, and I would just put the speakerphone on and talk while I was painting. So that's really when I learned how to do it. And then I've taught now, I think it's 28 years. I started in 1997, and I've been teaching drawing out of those. I started teaching drawing in 1998. And the first class was an illustration class. So I've been doing drawing demos since 1998. And so, yeah, I guess it's just, for me, it's old hat. I'll tell you a quick, like, little story about that. I think this was 4 or 5 years ago. I was asked to teach a one day, 3-hour drawing class seminar for the college to a bunch of students who lived in India. And the pre-college director, I got on a Zoom call, and they wanted me to just draw. And I started, like, drawing and talking and teaching the techniques. I guess it was like an interview or something like that. And the interviewee was so amazed that I was talking and drawing. And I'm like, okay, that was a good distraction, because the drawing looks like shit. Yeah. I think I've worked on the mouth and the nose the least. I think I need to work on this area a little bit more. Everything needs work. So it's just balancing the pencil time. Hercule, how are you new to the channel, or have you seen some of the videos that I've posted in the past? Awesome. That's really cool. Yeah, I'm gonna do another live stream on Wednesday next week. And then once September comes, I'm going to do live streams on Mondays on YouTube. Just because on Tuesday I have my private Zoom class for members of my website, and I also critique their artwork on Tuesdays. And then Wednesdays I'm in the city teaching life drawing to foundation first year students. And yeah, welcome. And then the rest of the week I'm teaching at the college also. So Monday and Tuesdays are my days for these types of things. Paul, you still with us? I looked at your Instagram, Paul. You got a lot of good drawings on there. I'm really jealous of that school that you're going to. I've had two Instagrams. One is my art Instagram, and the other one, nice. That's funny. And I got sucked into doom scrolling on my personal Instagram. That's not my art Instagram. So all the people who follow me, like I would never see their artwork at all because I was always on my other Instagram that had different interests, different hobbies and stuff like that. So I've been going on my art Instagram more lately. And yeah, so I just saw your work. Definitely awesome. Just drawing a little bit with the eraser. Getting a little long now, Paul. What do you think? Yeah, the white charcoal does not play well with the colored pencil. So I'm. And the color, yeah, the white charcoal does not go on the colored pencil. Yep. Understood. So I'm going to probably end the live stream at 1:30. Absolutely. So if anybody has, so that it's 1:25. So in about 5 minutes, I really want to work on this drawing more. But I think I need to put this live stream to bed soon because for me to do the rest of the details, I definitely need to get closer to the drawing with my physical eyes and head. And yeah, so that's when I'll start to really push the drawing more. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's 1:25. 1:25. So I'll end this in 5 minutes at 1:30. Yeah, there's a lot more that I need to do to this drawing. No doubt about it. I don't hate it and I don't love it. It just needs more time. That's all. Yeah, see all this like little stuff that I'm doing now around like the eyes? I just need to get closer. And that doesn't work well on video. I need to put all those highlights in the lip, in the lower lip. Lots that I need to do here. Come on in, Luke. I'm doing a live stream.
Are you doing a live?
Yes, I'm on live stream right now. See you later. I'll be done in 5 minutes. The hazards of working with a 19-year-old who's in the room next to you, he has a day off today. Okay, people, any last questions before we call this live stream done? I appreciate you all joining me. If you're interested in more from me and how I can help you and your artwork, check out some of the links in the description below and take a visit at my website. Maybe check out my Instagram. Yeah, I have one pineapple. I do. I don't have it right here with me. I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. My grandfather, when he was alive, used to make them. He worked in a lens factory, and I inherited some of like his old like magnifying lens. Not a lot, Paul. If you go and you click on the link to the other drawing that's for sale, it's very, very reasonable. It's not a lot at all. So yeah, I'll post it when it's done. You can kind of get a vibe for the price and structure by clicking on the link and looking at the other one. But this one still needs a lot of work. I think I have her hair too tall, and that's switching up the likeness a little bit. And the white charcoal does not go over the colored pencil. So, yeah, live and learn, right? I'm learning. All right, let's do this. Actually, let me do this. Okay, so this is what I've got so far. And she's cute. It's getting there. It's not 100% her, but I need to get in there and do all like the little details. And I hope you enjoyed this one. It was a lot of fun. It was definitely a challenge. See you, Stacy. Thank you, Paul. Carmela. Yeah, it's hard, right? This one's a tough one, Carmela. Wow, you're still here. That's incredible. Thank you for watching, Carmela. And I'll see you. The critiques are up. You saw the critique, and I'll see you next Wednesday for the next live stream here. Hercule, thank you for watching today. I appreciate you. And join us again next Wednesday for the next live stream. And I'll share this drawing with everybody on the posts of my channel. Yeah, awesome face. I need to do this face justice. It just needs more time. And yeah. All right, everyone. I'll see you soon, okay? You got it, Carmela. Thank you so much. There's a little delay, so I'm just waiting. Wow, 3 hours. There you go. Nice. Very nice. Thank you, Elizabeth. I'm going to work on it some more. All right, everyone. Thank you so much, and I will see you all next Wednesday. Be sure to gotcha. Be sure to like the video, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel if you're not. Thank you, Jake. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. If you're subscribed, maybe click on the bell notifications so you get notified when I go live next time, which will be Wednesday around the same time. All right. Thank you, everyone. Talk soon. Bye.